with you wholeheartedly. I don't think there was ever a doubt that Jaedong would concede this game. I don't. There was never a doubt for me that Cal was actually coming back to the point of being able to take the game. I still would be strongly in agreement with you that Jaedong is in the far the dominant position in this game and has been for a long time. But nevertheless, I'm still very impressed with Cal. He's really making a fight out of this and actually giving himself a chance of pulling off an unlikely victory here. Though I think it is very unlikely. Jaedong's got a solid defense. Cal's going to be committing himself here, and this is exactly what Cal needs to do. He's bunched up his forward. Great play goes off on a lot of Cal's units, catches off a fair few of those zealots and dragoons, and catches off about half of Cal's forces. And Jaedong has got those staggered lurkers that Cal is going to have a tough time breaking in. Storms going off all over the place from Cal. Cal has got a massive zealot force though, and this is the perfect attack from Cal almost, because he struck just before he knows that Jaedong's gas units are going to kick in, and looks like Jaedong is now ready with the drop of those 5 overlords to now clean up this game and finish this game, having survived Cal's final gambit, as it were. But I have to say, I have been impressed with Cal. He's done pretty much everything right. Once he was behind, he's pretty much tried to play the right game. He's not just folded up like a piece of cardboard. He's produced the shuttles. He's produced, and that drop is actually going to get spotted by the shuttle wandering across it. But I don't think Cal's actually going to be able to pull his units back in time. And Jaedong's dropping in Cal's main, and he's actually only got a defiler with a handful. He's only got a couple of defilers with a handful of lurkers and zerglings, so he doesn't have any ultralists in that. I thought he might have had a few ultralists out in there, but that's probably going to be enough to actually slow down Cal's production significantly by taking out those gateways and significantly hurting his main. But I've got to say, I have to. I'm very and again, Cal decided to taking out the 12 o'clock smashes. So Cal putting up a good fight in this game, and that bodes well for him, because he was 1-0 up. So even with Jaedong taking this game, which I think he will pretty definitely take it, Cal. And finally, the ultralists pop out now for Jaedong, and it's only a matter of time now, really. But I have to say, if you look back, if you remember back the OSL finals last season between Jaedong and Stork, what a difference when Cal falls behind. You can see him fighting, and you can see that the game was still, relatively speaking, in the balance for some time, though it was Jaedong's game to lose as opposed to Cal's game to win. And that's the sort of play you expect to see in the finals. Certainly not at the level of a Bisu Stork best of 5 finals. But impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, in the meantime, looks like that 6 o'clock expansion going out, and I feel like that. I'm not going to say that's the ending blow, because Cal could pull out something miraculous here, but still those ultralists out in the field, and he really needed to keep that up. He really needed to have that producing form if he was going to contend in this match. Jaedong will have to make some major blunders now to have this game get out of hand. Zergling's coming out. It looks like he's going to be able to flank here, and he's going to gather up immediately after this. I don't think he even needs to bother with that bottom right expansion, because he can go into that 3 o'clock expansion, that inside 3 o'clock expansion, attack that, take it down, and then immediately proceed to the bottom right expansion. My guess is as soon as we see that, Ultra's gathering up. There's a couple Reavers, but Reavers caught on the field. They don't have any drop shuttle to lift them off and kind of defend them. Both of them down. Needed those Reavers, some side storm going off, and Cal doing actually an excellent job of keeping those, of whittling those ultralists down and keeping, giving himself some time to get some more forces out in the field. Looks like he lost his robotics facility, his robotics support bay, somewhere in the meantime. And it looks like another drop, and it looks like actually Jaedong going to go into the bottom right hand corner and do what damage he can there. 2 ultralists, and actually it looks like he's at level 2 upgrade, or I'm sorry, level 5-3, or sorry, level yeah, 5-2 for the ultralisk. So a pretty decent, about I would say even. I'm going to assume he's even with Jaedong, or I'm sorry, even with Cal as far as upgrades go, which is a bad situation considering when you're even with Zerg. Looks like some units being ferried over, and I hate this first-person view. It's never, it's hard to tell what's going on. Looks like Jaedong is setting up for that attack on that inside 3 o'clock position, but that inside 3 o'clock position has been mined for a while. I really feel like Cal had to hold that 6 o'clock position to really stand a chance. So Cal now has to, somehow he has to attack and defend at the same time. The question is will he be able to do it? Looks like he's gathering up, trying to kind of sweep through the 6 o'clock and maybe sweep into the natural here immediately after, but he's running into a lot of Zerglings, some Hydralisks, or I'm sorry, some Lurkers and some Ultralisks. He did manage to get some good storms off, but the question is will he be able to, I honestly think Cal, or Jaedong could just sacrifice this, pull those Ultralists back and go after that inside 3 o'clock location, just, you know, screw defending the 6 o'clock, but Cal doing actually doing very well in defending this in the meantime. More reinforcements coming in from the backside though, going to pincer the rest of the forces in. I don't think Cal has anything else in the meantime to defend any of his bases.
Yeah, no, I think Jaedong did the right thing. I think there's no reason why he should sacrifice any expansions. I think he's doing the right thing. He knows that his opponent is low on resources. He's just killed off the expansion at the 5 o'clock position. It's going to be going to be some time before Cal can. And Cal's basically running on almost empty. He's just running from that one expansion, which is the inside 3 o'clock expansion. That's his only running expansion right now. Whereas Jaedong has got at least 4 or 5 expansions actually actively still with minerals remaining. Cal's also got a few minerals, I suppose, left in his natural expo outside of his main. But really, Cal just fighting with 2 bases against Jaedong's 5 or 6. So there's no reason for Jaedong to concede any bases. The right thing for him to do is to fight wherever and everywhere he can, and keep just basically taking down his opponent's army and not allow his opponent to build up an army, and keep the fight to his opponent, not allow his opponent any momentum whatsoever. And I think Jaedong is doing exactly that, and finally Cal throws down the gauntlet. So a comfortable victory in the end for Jaedong. Once he was ahead, he looked ahead all the way. He looked like the champion all the way. And I wonder if that's going to be the pattern that's going to be set down for the rest of the series, or whether Cal is going to return and surprise Jaedong, or maybe make Jaedong beat himself. And that's really, from the 2 games that I've seen, I think Jaedong has to lose this matchup. I don't think Cal can win it. I think Jaedong has to do something and throw the game.
I definitely agree wholeheartedly. I think it's Jaedong's to lose at this point. He's got the momentum swing. He's kind of showing that in the long-term game. He basically can outplay Cal in the long term. Although Cal did go for that speed zealot upgrade kind of push, that just didn't. I'm surprised he went for that, considering it is a ramped map. You're playing against Jaedong. I don't know. I'm not gonna question his strategy though. But we'll see what he's got for game 3, and obviously it's gonna have to go to a game 4, maybe a potential game 5. I have a lot of hopes. I think I agree with you though. Cal showed a lot there. Definitely showed